Morning.
Good morning.
I will be right back.
We'll start in about a minute.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Any questions on the homework from last night's? Homework from last night, questions? Okay. Let me pull it up real quick. All right, here we go. Here are the answers. Number one, I'm going to give them in order from least to greatest. Number one is -6, 5. Number two, -5, -3/5. All right, number three, 3/2 and 3. Number four is just 3/2. Number 5 is -1 and 1/3. Number 6, -2 and -3/2. Number 7 is -3/2 and 1. Apparently -3/2 is a popular answer because it's almost on every single one of these. Number 8 is -3 and -3/2. Number 9 is 1/2 and 2. Number 10 is -3 and -2/3. And that was it. There was only 10 of them. Questions? Okay. Here's what we got going on today. We're going to go over the chapter review. Now, I will open up the actual review. We'll go over it real quick. If you have any questions, we can do as many or as few as you would like. And then tomorrow there'll be a test. So there'll be no class tomorrow. I'll have the test posted by 7 a.m. in the morning. You don't have to do it at 7 a.m. You can do it normal times at 12:15 to, what was it? No, it's 10:25 to 12:15. Or you can do it in the afternoon. I don't care, just as long as it gets done. So I'll leave it up to you to decide when you want to do the homework or want to do the test. Just make sure it's done, number one. And number two, make sure you show me your work. And number three, make sure that when you take a picture that I can read it. Now, as I was going off of some of your homework, some of you are writing your answers backwards. That makes me suspicious, that you're actually doing it or you're just writing answers. So make sure you write in the steps that are in order. In other words, you need to write them so that they appear as you would do this. Just had a question from Ari. I'm trying to read it real quick. Let's see. Ari is asking, do I need a picture of the complete practice? I just need some confirmation that you actually just did the practice test. Obviously, since I'm giving you the answers to the practice test, I don't need to see the answers because I already have the answers type thing, and I know that you have access to it. So all I really need is on the assignment, just say something to the effect of, I did the practice test. That'd be fine. If you want to show me a picture of your work, that'd be cool as well too. I'll leave that up to you guys. But make sure you do the practice test, because remember, the practice test is exactly like what's on the actual test. So with that out of the way, I will share the practice test. Where did I put the practice test? That's 512. I need to actually pull it up. Let me pull it up here in a second. Let's see, chapter 5, practice test, right here. Okay, now let me share this with you. Okay, you should see the practice test. Now what I'll do is I'll work through one of it. Now notice in section 1, that's questions 1 through 6. It's asking you basically to reduce the fraction to simplify it. Questions 7 through 12, it's asking you to just multiply the two binomials. You guys should all get those right. Questions 13 through 18, it's asking you to, I'm sorry, 13 through 22, it's asking you to factor the quadratic. It's not asking you to solve, just asking you to factor. And then the last one, it's asking you to solve. So how many will I actually, I mean, that's the 28 questions. I will not have 28 questions. I think it's more like 16 or so questions that are on the test. I will ask you a few from each section. So in other words, on the first section, I'll probably ask you 2. On the second section, I'll probably ask you maybe 4 of those. On the factor, I will ask you about 4 of those, 3 of the simple ones, maybe 1 of the hard ones. And then on the solve by factoring, I'll probably ask you 3 of the simple ones and 1 of the more challenging ones. So with that out of the way, I will run through just a few with you, just so that you're confident. And then please ask questions. So one of you, pick me one to do, 1 through 6. Someone pick one for me to do.
4.
Number 4, let's do number 4. All right, I wish you would have picked another one because this one does not have a 3 and a 4 here. They don't reduce. Just so you remember, on number 2, number 1, number 3, you have to reduce the 2 force, you have to reduce the 4 force, you have to reduce the 4 over 2. But we'll do number 4. All right, let's see, 3 and 4. I always just immediately put a long fraction bar. 3 and 4 don't reduce, so they don't change. So I put a 3 and a 4. Notice on number 3, right, the 4s would cancel, so I'd be left with nothing. On number 2, the 2 and the 4 would reduce to 1 over 2. Now, do I have to put the 1? Only if that's the only thing that's left. But on number 4, there's nothing to reduce on the 3 and the 4, so they stay. I'm looking at just the m's. There's 1 on the top, there's 4 on the bottom. If they were to cancel, remember 1 on the top, m, 4 on the bottom, 1, m to the 4th would be 4 m's, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is what I'm doing in my head when I say when you cancel, you'll be left with 3 m's on the bottom. In other words, m to the 3rd power. That's 3 m's. On the ends, I got 4 on the top, 4 on the bottom. They would cancel. So, ladies and gentlemen, there is your answer. 3 over 4 m to the 3rd. Questions? I don't want to do them all because I want to leave you with the chance to get these done. But I will put guaranteed 2 of these on the test. This should be easy money if you're paying attention. Easy money. All right, also easy money. Questions 7 all the way through 12. Somebody pick one.
10.
Let's do number 10. So on number 10, I should have moved the mouse. Okay, that's good. On number 10, depending upon your method, I will say most of the class likes the distributive property. A few of you are like me, you like the stacking one. I'll do them both. So if I do the distributive property, remember this is a -4. I'm distributing -4. There's my first arrow. Write the answer down before you put the second arrow. -4 times 4r is -16r. Second arrow, -4 times +2 is -8. All right, your third arrow comes from the 3r to the 4r. 3r times 4r, it's positive, so that's +12. R times r is r squared. And your last arrow would go from the 3r to the 2. Remember, we're multiplying here, and that will give you a +6r. If you do it this way, the distributive property, these two will always combine. This will always be your first term, your whatever squared. So final answer, I'm getting 12r squared. These two combine, -16r and a +6r. That's a different signs, so subtract big minus small. 16 minus 6 is 10. More negatives and positives, so we get -10r. And then -8 has no friends. It's always by itself. There you go. There are going to be at least 4 of these on the test. 4 easy, easy, easy ones. Now, I like stacking them, so I'll just briefly show you stacking. 3r minus 4 times 4r plus 2. I like stacking because it's just like how we do normal multiplication. 2 times -4 is -8. 2 times 3r is 6r. Notice it's going to keep things nice and orderly. We bring down to 0 or we leave it blank. Either one is fine. 4r times -4r is -16r. Notice it's stacked perfectly. And 4r times 3r is 12r squared. And the reason why I like this method is because when you draw your line here, everything just lines up exactly where it needs to go. Minus and a positive means subtract. Big minus small. 16 minus 6 is 10. There's more negatives. So minus 10r. And notice we get exactly the same answer. Stacking or distributive property, whatever floats your boat. I don't care which technique you use. Just pick one. If you use the distributive property, I can't encourage you enough to draw one arrow at a time, write the answer. One arrow at a time, write the answer. One arrow at a time, write the answer. A few of you still get stuck on the distributive property. Your arrows don't go in the right order, meaning like your just arrows are just all over the place. It's this number. The -4 goes to both things in the second binomial, and the positive 3r goes to both things in the second binomial. All right. Question on skill number 2, multiplying two binomials together. Okay, moving on. The next one, factoring. These will both be the challenging ones and the easy ones. We'll do an easy.
Can I be heard?
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I was just, because last time I did this, I wasn't being heard and it wasn't working. So I just was testing it.
Got it. All right. Yeah, all you have to do is when you're on mute is just hold the space bar down and talk. And when you let the space bar go, it goes back to mute. All right. So 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 are the easy ones. 19, 20, 21, 22 are the more challenging ones. So somebody pick me something from 13 to 18. These are the easy ones. Somebody pick one.
16.
16. Let's do 16. For the easy ones, remember, it's two things. It's what two numbers multiply to that, the C value, that add to the B value. So what two numbers multiply the -3 that add to a +2? Well, there's only two numbers that multiply to 3. That's a 1 times 3. There are no other numbers. 1 times 3 is 3, but we got to get to a -3. So we either make the 1 negative or we make the 3 negative. These are the two ways that you get to -3 through multiplication. So this one is multiply, this one is add. Now we got to get to add 2. -1 plus 3 is in fact 2. There's your answer. 1 minus 3 is -2. So only one of these added up to +2, and that's this one. Okay? So for the simple ones, right, it's different than the more challenging ones. For the simple ones, now you can immediately jump to the answer. The answer will always look like this. We'll always have the variable as the first thing, n. These are for the simple ones, questions 13 through 18. Notice the a value here is 1. A is equal to 1. In other words, the number in front of n squared is 1. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Right? Once you find this right here, you're basically done. You just write what it says, -1 plus 3, and you're done. That's it. That's the whole darn thing. Completely done. What two numbers multiply to -3 that add up to +2? Whatever that is, those are your answers. If there aren't two numbers that multiply to -3 that add to 2, it's not factorable. Question on the easy ones. The challenging ones, it's a different technique. So the challenging ones are when a does not equal 0. Notice on these right here, a is equal to 3, a is equal to 3, a is equal to 5, a is equal to 5. A is not equal to 1 like in the previous ones. All right, pick one, somebody.
21.
21. So this technique for the challenging ones, step 1 is a times c. Porter, you remember me asking you last night, what's a times c? I'm asking you, what is 5 times 4? 5 times 4 is 20. 20 now becomes the magic number that we're trying to get to. I'm trying to get to factor pairs of 20 that add to negative 12. So for me, I'm going to write all the possibilities. 1 and 20. Someone at a construction site. Or negative 1 and negative 20. Both of those numbers multiplied equals positive 20. 2 and 10. Or negative 2 and negative 10. Both of those numbers multiply to 20. Notice, of them all, only one of them adds to negative 12. This one adds to negative 12. So this one adds to negative 12. Okay? All right. So negative 2 plus negative 10 is negative 12. So I need more scratch work here. So now different technique. I'm not going to immediately jump to the answer. I'm going to rewrite the entire thing. So I'm going to write 5. Notice we would not do this on the previous one. 5m squared. Instead of writing minus 12m, I'm going to write this. Minus 2m minus 10m. Where did I get those numbers from? The ones in the box. Those are the two numbers that are multiplied to 20 that add up to negative 12 plus 4. So all I did was rewrite this initial quadratic or trinomial, and I rewrote the b term. Now I put in my parentheses. And this is the step that Porter last night said, hey, this is the step that gives me problems all the time. So one more time, I'm going to look at that number and see if anything goes into both besides 1. Well, nothing goes into 5 and 2 besides 1. Then I'm going to pull out what's common between m squared and m. What's common is an m. So I can pull that out of both terms. What times m is 5m squared? 5m. 5m times m is 5m squared. What times m is negative 2m minus 2. What I'm really doing here is division. 5m squared divided by m is 5m. Negative 2m divided by m is negative 2. We do the same thing with the second one. If this term right here is negative, we will always pull out a negative. If it's positive, we'll pull out a positive. So what's common between a 10 and a 4 is a 2. So I'm going to pull out a negative 2. Why not a positive 2? Because this one's negative. If this one was positive, I'd pull out a positive. Negative 2 times what is negative 10m? That's 5m. And notice the magic. Look at this. We're going to get exactly that right there. Negative 2 times what is positive 4? Negative 2. It's the same darn thing. Your final answer will be to take what's inside the parentheses, 5m minus 2, and leave it in parentheses. And for those that need help on this, you can think of this as canceling. I'm dividing out 5m minus 2 from this part. What's left, what I have not crossed out, is the second parentheses. The second parentheses, therefore, would be m minus 2. That's the stuff I didn't cross out. And there you go, folks. There's the answer. Will I have 8 of these? No. I will have 1 of these. I'll have 3 of the easy ones and 1 of the challenging ones. You can do 1 of the challenging ones. And especially you can do 3 of the easy ones. Okay? Questions? All right. The last thing, right, is solving this. So it's like it's the same thing. We just go one extra step. But I do want to be able to have some people that can do this, and they're still working on how to solve. I don't want to fail them because they can't solve. All right. So solving, once again, comes in 2 flavors. The easy ones, where n equals or a equals 1. That's 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. A equals 1. And I did not give you any challenging ones here. Every one of these, a equals 1. So you can do this. All right. So here we go. Somebody pick one. 23 to 28. Go ahead.
25.
25. So once again, I'm looking. These are the easy ones. I'm looking for 2 numbers multiplied -6 that add up to, remember there's always a 1 here, -1. So 2 numbers that multiply to -6, well, that's 1 and a 6, where the 1's negative, the 6 positive, or the 1's positive and the 6 negative, or 2 and 3, where the 2 is negative and the 3 is positive, or the 2 is positive and the 3 is negative. These are the factor pairs of -6, the numbers that multiply. But we want to find which one adds up to -1. This sucker right here. This is the one that adds up to -1. So when we rewrite our answer, we're going to put parentheses, parentheses, parentheses. These are the easy ones, not the hard ones. And we write what's lit right here in the box. x plus 2, and x minus 3. And remember, we're solving, this equals 0. See the 0? And then we use the zero product property. We take the first thing, we set it equal to 0. X minus 2 equals 0, and we solve that. Hey, what's one step? Just add 2 to both sides, and you get x is equal to 2. You're done for that part. You take the second thing. The second thing says x minus 3 is equal to 0, and solve that one. Hey, look, just add 3 to both sides. We get x equals 3. How do you write your final answer? You put it in braces. You put the smaller one first, the bigger one second. No, I will not mark off if you write the bigger one first. And there you go. There's your answer to number 25. How do I know that works? Well, you can plug the numbers in. 2. 2 squared is 4. 4 minus 2 is 2. But I did that wrong. Where is my mistake? Oh, it was a positive 2 and a negative 3. There's my mistake. Immediately, I just figured out I made a mistake. Why? Because I did a check step. So it was really plus 2. So therefore, I would be subtracting 2 from both sides. So we get a negative 2. Ooh, boy. Luckily, I caught my mistake. All right, negative 2. Negative 2 squared is 4. Negative 2 times negative 1 is a positive 2. 4 plus 2 is 6. 6 minus 6 is 0. Not only does it work for negative 2, it better work for 3. 3 squared is 9. Minus 3. 9 minus 3 is 6. 6 minus 6 is 0. Here are your 2 answers. Hey, I didn't even plan on making a mistake, and I showed you how you make a mistake and you can catch a mistake. The one nice thing is on the equations, you can catch a mistake. You can't catch them on the ones above. All right, questions? Well, now. All right. No questions. Hey, at the bottom are all the answers. Which one we just did? 25. So 25, when you look at the answers, 3, negative 2, they put the bigger one first. It doesn't make a difference. But here are all the answers. I will stay on my computer between now and the end of class. If you have a specific question, we can do either a Zoom meeting. I can walk you through one. What I really encourage you to do is open to the practice test and work through. Maybe not work through every one of the problems, but work through 1 or 2 of each one of the sections. Make sure you have the process. Secondly, obviously I got to teach for the rest of the day, but after say 4 o'clock-ish, I'll be by my computer until 8 o'clock. If you want help, all you got to do is ask. Third, this is the test. I'm just going to change the numbers around, right? Absolutely, make the perfect resource card. Tell yourself exactly what you need to do. I'll post this video probably immediately, like within 15 minutes, I'll have it posted. So you can have a perfect resource card that tells you what to do, when to do it, how to do it. This should be an easily passable test. Easily passable test. Okay, questions? As I see your message, Haley. Nothing? All right, I'm gonna let you guys go so you can work on this. Remember to check your answers. Don't be too frustrated if you make small mistakes. Be frustrated if you make large mistakes, okay? I also don't want you to spend too much time on these more challenging ones like 9, 10, 11, and 12. There's only gonna be one of them on the test, right? Make sure you can pass the other stuff before you worry about the more challenging ones. The nice thing is that we're gonna be working on this for the rest of your time in high school. Believe it or not, factoring quadratics is something that you will use in every single math course between now and graduation. If you take math in college, you'll be doing it in college as well too. It seems like a pretty useless skill in general terms. It turns out it's a very practical skill. We just haven't got to where it's practical. But the solving quadratics by factoring is very, 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 very useful. All right. I'll let you guys go. If you need any help, I'm just a chat away. One last thing. The test, we will not have a class for the test. In other words, by 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, I'll have the test posted. I won't do an actual live class. If you run into any problems during the test, right, I'll be on my computer, so you can send me a chat. I will answer it. I'm not going to give you answers or anything like that. But if there's something going wrong, either a technical problem or there was something literally wrong with the test, or something you didn't understand, like, wait, do you want me to do the answer here or something like that? I can answer those questions. Can't help you take the test, but I can answer questions about the test. All right, I'll let you guys go, and I will see you live on Thursday. Good luck with the test.